yield. It's a web browsing company. Again, they're not going to be exposed to
Big Cold Talk Stocks. We talk stocks, Big Cold Talk Stocks. All right.
From a bottom-up basis to
Let me share my screen.
The other way is to maybe be a little bit contrarian and maybe take the optimistic view that, hey, look, this tariff thing isn't going to be forever, or the tariff will work out.
Let's start with deck.
And again, there you have to take a contrarian stance and buy what's a little bit uglier today in hopes that things will get better.
The break this high.
Better moving forward.
112. We got just about 115.
Thank you.
Then we got 118, 119. Between 118 and 120. All right, between 118 and 120, this is the zone. That's what I call a zone. So that's on deck. So wait for it to break here. All right, so also a double bottom, bottom, bottom. All right.
And taking a look at shares right now, they're down by about 2.6% on this hour.
Yeah, SPP undergoing a lot of strategic change right now. You're just looking through some of those. We have this reset away from earlier green energy emissions, and we focus on more traditional oil and gas operations.
TSM.
We have the Elliott stake. So it's a period of transition for this company. If we zero in on
break this top,
you'll see that
165 to 170.
49% year over year, missing analyst expectations. The company attributed the downturn to weaker refining margins and poor performance in oil and gas trading. Now, in response to this miss, BP did announce a $500 million reduction in capital spending for 2025. That brings that number down to $14.5 billion. The company also plans to divest $3 to $4 billion in assets, exceeding its previous target. And from an investor perspective, shares have not done so well. Year over year basis, we're down about 28%. But year to date, which I think is interesting, we're only down about 4%. So we're out.
So this is what I'm looking at now. It'll change tomorrow because, price action does what price action does. That's TSM. We break this, respect this, then possibly this. We break this, I wouldn't even worry about this, to be quite honest. You know why? Because this is the range. Here to here to here to here. Broke the range, boom, bottom of the range, rejected. So this is the range. So if you want, you can wait for it to break here and take this whole move. That might be a better idea. All right, that's TSM. Low. I was in this. I closed it at 20% because I just did not feel like holding overnight. But you got this double bottom. You just got this zone right here, but I'm thinking we good. I might get back in to ride it to my smiley face. So you can take low calls. I expect it to take it up here. Affirm. Affirm. Once we break this resistance, expect $60. Affirm.
As well. If you are working remote, you're not taking Ubers as much. I know personally for me, if I need to be in the office early, if I'm feeling a little lazy, sometimes I will take an Uber to work. So fundamentally, I feel like this makes sense. But
so I'm not planning to the downside. So, all right, boom, boom, multiple taps, boom. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So once we break this, boom. Right. It's a firm. I'm tired, y'all, as you can see. It's like 9:45. All right, Snow. Same thing with Snow. From what I'm looking at, I would take calls right here. Just right up to there. It looked like small moves, but this is the hourly. So this is 161 to 167. You see what I'm saying? So they're not small moves in the option world. So that's Snow. You got an inverse head and shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder. Yeah, but that already kind of. So yeah, we just gonna use support and resistance on this one. We break here, boom, come up. We got CGC. I took this today on the live charting we did earlier. Yeah. That was 50%. Crazy, right? 50%. That little has 50% on that contract. So honestly, you have most people wouldn't see it, but this is my thing. This is my thing, so I see it. Inverse head and shoulder. That was the neckline retest. We're now above retested. That support's solid. So you got 165, then 195. This right here will few 100%. Few 100%.
And so with that in mind, I'm sorry, you cut out for a second there, Chris. I didn't mean to cut you off. But actually,
and we broke our downtrend, and that was a long-term downtrend. Let me show you, just so you understand how long I've been watching this.
You're not liking the overhead that goes into this business, so
look at this.
How do you think they can pull some of that cost out, extract that cost, and
this shit got beat down. I could have just sat in puts, but I did. But as you can see,
it comes down to overhead.
Broke our trend.
It's not really relevant to a bank.
Just broke it, and this is where 100-day moving average is on a daily. That 195, $2 resistance. So, boom, that $2 resistance. That's a nice little swing. All right,
and this has been one of the better performers.
Let's see.
I think because of growth. If you ask equity,
I'm wondering if my notifications ain't going out.
It's because of the growth, not the profitability. But as we know, PayPal, Block, all of these darlings.
Yeah, I'm wondering if my notifications ain't going out.
And that's when the industry really shifts and the investor component shifts as well.
Anyway.
That's kind of where I am on this stock. It's fine. It's a consumer lender.
When y'all watch this, shoot me a DM and let me know if you have the notifications on. If you actually have the notifications on, let me know if you get notifications. All right. Again, daily, this is my thing.
You know, with that in mind, as we're thinking about how SoFi and some of the other new
fintechs
out there have emerged,
I told you this is my thing. I be spotting these.
For a long time, I thought about this meme.
Potential inverse head and shoulder, right?
If not friend, then why friend shaped? For these companies, if not bank, then why bank shaped? But they've increasingly moved in that direction here. What type of share do you think they'll be able to take as more younger consumers, where they're touting some of these new member signups, some of that lifetime value?
Yeah, I do this just to get that thing out of here. So anyway.
What type of market share do you think they'll be able to take and then retain?
Let's look at
they're bringing on more of these features?
the hourly on this bad boy.
$75 billion in
Boom.
today.
We in there like swimwear. This position's ready.
This
This position's ready. As you can see, where we going? Up here. GM's ready. GM's ready for that move up. It's ready. And if it breaks here, it's ready for this move. And it's ready. It's ready. All right, so be ready for GM. Last but not least, American Airlines.
What do we do then? Do we sell the business? Do we go head to head with Capital One?
All right, with American Airlines, we break this inverse head and shoulder neckline. Boom, we're going up here. Not even paying attention to this hourly 200. I should, but I usually don't pay attention to the hourly EMAs. I do sometimes, but not really. See, because on the daily, when we break this, it's all the way up here, a 50-day. So,
Chris, always great to speak with you. Thanks so much for giving us the analysis.
My pleasure. Great day to all of you guys.
But yeah, so those are the charts I'm looking at, guys. That was what, 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, and TTWO. So they're making Grand Theft Auto 6. And I should have been gotten this, but I missed my entry. Keep missing it. Look at that. Look at that.
Down in February. So the National Home Price Index rose 3.9%.
And I was waiting for it.
According to data from the S&P Schiller. Now that was down.
So disappointed in myself.
Annual gain we saw in January.
I was ready
This data measures
and missed it.
Period through February,
but this thing could run.
That
That's the thing about these. This thing could run. It could just keep running.
And down from the 4.7 annual increase in the previous month. Now, regionally, New York reported the highest annual gain, not shocking, among the 20 largest cities.
But I needed to pull back
7% increase
because I'm not touching that.
Chicago and Cleveland followed with the annual increase of 7% and 6%. While Tampa prices fell by 1.5%.
I don't know. It's tempting. It's tempting.
Housing supply that continues
all-time highs. It could just
home prices in most markets, and so
go.
we are seeing slower and a more sustainable pace of price growth, which is something we have been wanting to see because that also influences housing inflation at the end of the day, which we want to see.
I'm not good with all-time highs. You know that's if it was a pattern or something, I can measure it, or if I was doing this for years. Nope. So yeah, I don't know. If you know what to do with that, do something with it. You know, that's a risk I don't want to take because I don't want to be in this thing if it goes. Feel me? It's at 2:30. I do not want to be a part of that retest. Now, if it retests, then yeah, boys, yeah, then if it retests and holds, I'm getting in. All right, that's it. That is it on the charts for the night.
Similar activity that you're seeing there play out in that line chart. Also, taking a look at
in stream, Big Cope Talk Stocks. Big Cope Talk Stocks. Who talk stocks? Big Cope Talk Stocks.
Consumer discretionary, that's lower by about 4 gainers